Well, I think when you've got multiple guys that can go out there and operate an offense, it makes not only the quarterback room better, but it makes the team better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. I had a great show today. We'll get to that in a moment, but I want to talk about things that bug you. Because I saw Nick a little angry earlier, so I'm going to give a couple things that bug me. I don't like when people are late, and I don't like when I can hear people chew. Hate it. Hate. Callie, what bugs you?
Chewing is a huge one.
Hate it.
Late is a big one. I don't like when people interrupt me when I'm talking and if they...
Yeah, I like that too, Callie. I mean...
when I'm talking and I'm trying to tell a story and then it reminds them of something, they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait.
I'm not done.
Not done. But
sorry,
yeah.
I just did it to you too.
No, it's okay. That's fine. It's like when the topic shifts or I don't know.
A topic shifter.
Yeah.
Nick, what are some things that bug you?
People don't listen.
Yeah. Huh? What'd you say? On the show today, Marty Smith. Is he, I say it every time, but
yeah.
Am I right? Doesn't he give off that, good vibe?
Yes, absolutely.
Nick, you can say yes, too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. Phil Steele, Norm Hitchkus, a.k.a.
How does that guy know everything?
I mean, he types Wikipedia faster than anybody I've ever seen.
He knows, everything.
Everything. Oh, yeah? Who was president in 1912?
He
Boom.
gives Matthew Dawson a run for his money.
He'd beat Matthew Dawson up in a fight, in a basketball game.
In a knowledge fight.
Oh, rodeo, you name it.
Those two in a game of Jeopardy. Oh, my gosh.
Jason Howell?
Goat.
At what? So you're saying that he's better than Broninger is what you just said?
It's up for debate, just like you and Carson and Riley always debate. MJ, Jordan, it's Bronny and Jason.
Trevor Knight, loved him. Is that Kay Nagley?
That's all we need to know. Keep moving.
That guy's got a good smile, though, right? All right, it's TexAgs Rewind. Check it. Hey, let's talk about A&M's leadership. So you actually spoke to Jimbo last year for that book. Now you got Mike Elko. Talk to me about, and you spoke to him last week in Dallas. Tell me what you learned about him. What do you think? What are your initial thoughts?
Very measured leader and of a quiet intensity. And I think in College Station, that's probably welcome right now based on how the last couple years have gone with all the tumult over the constant analysis of how Jimbo was really doing. And I will sit here right now. Jimbo Fisher's a good football coach. Just didn't work. Just wasn't working. And so bringing Mike in as someone who instantly flipped a culture, there's a different energy, it seems, down there now. And I appreciate his approach. He understands the overall culture down there, having been on Jimbo's staff and won some really big games down there while he was DC. He goes over to Duke and does a very good job there as well, and comes back. And I think I would use that word measured but intentional. And it certainly seems the players have gravitated to that difference in approach. And when you're opening with Notre Dame at Kyle Field, there's an urgency, I think, in camp too. And so I think everybody's going to be extremely focused on being intentional with one another, to be a genuine team and not have fractures with personalities. You don't have to like everybody, but when it's time to get between the lines on Saturday afternoons or evenings, you have to have that cohesion. And I believe that Mike's tutelage and wisdom and leadership will afford that from the jump. I mean, talking to players in Dallas, it's certainly, I know everybody's happy in July. Everybody's optimistic in mid-July. But I think there's reason for tremendous optimism.
Trevor, if you can, help evaluate the quarterback position. Obviously, Connor gets top billing because we know what he can be and what we've seen from him. Jalen Henderson was so nice last year, and then Marcel Reed in the bowl game kind of showed that potential, what he could be. So just what have you seen on film?
Well, I think when you've got multiple guys that can go out there and operate an offense, it makes not only the quarterback room better, but it makes the team better. If those guys join forces and say, hey, look, we're the nucleus of what we're trying to accomplish here. We're inherently the leaders of this program. if we make each other better every day on the field, the rest of the team's going to follow. And I see that out of this group. Obviously, I hope Connor goes out and has a world-class year and leads us to places that we've never been before. But just having the pressure and the support of those guys behind them that are able to step in if and when called is huge for any program. So depth is always key at the quarterback position, both from the guy on the field, but also the guys that are out there rallying the troops, Monday through Friday. Incredibly huge for this program, and I think we'll see that show up on Saturdays.
Beyond the production, what do you like about Connor's game?
I think he's got great poise. I think he's got a level of leadership that goes past what we even see. He's got an innate ability to get guys around him playing their best football. And I've been around multiple guys that have done that. Johnny was one of those guys, right? I mean, guys just wanted to play well for him. I was around Baker Mayfield for a couple years. Even if we weren't out on the field, you just see guys step up the level of their game because they want to play for him. And that shows true leadership. And I think he's got some of those qualities. He obviously can make every throw. He can make big-time plays. He can move the ball down the field. Yeah, that's all table stakes. But it's the intangibles for me that I've seen out of Connor and the way that he's responded to some of the adversity he's been through that makes me really excited about it.
Radio, Jason, let's wrap up with just some timelines. Pool party coming up, some commitments coming up. So what do you think the next, month looks like for A&M recruiting?
Well, we're going to see some of these questions answered. I think I talked a little bit about that at the beginning of July, into June, about seeing what the board is going to look like, and you've got Prevo coming up July 30th in the 26th class, a receiver there. You got McNutt August 3rd, who's key prospect that the Aggies are firmly in the mix. Khalil Lockett will make his decision August 7th between Texas A&M, Texas, LSU, Florida State, and Alabama. Fasusi on the 21st. Michael Terry's expected to make an announcement late July, so any day now or in August. And I think you'll see most of these guys on the board make a decision one way or the other before the fall, just to kind of get their spot, give their mind a little rest and put themselves at ease a little bit going into their fall season. And you'll see where you need to continue to recruit and where you need to find targets and things like that. So you'll see it. You'll get some answers on where you look at as far as need positions and what it looks like. But there's not a whole lot of questions left. You want an offensive tackle. You want another D lineman, especially a guy like a DJ Sanders. So I think you got most of your needs solidified there. A couple, maybe one or two more receivers. So you've got most of your needs solidified going into the next month, but you still got some pretty key important targets out there that you're watching.
Where do you see Notre Dame? Because I look at their schedule, I look at their talent, and I think they're a team that's destined for the playoffs. And A&M might be one of their biggest matchups of the year.
Yeah, in fact, it's the only game of the year that I do not have Notre Dame favored. I've got the game a toss-up because it's in College Station. It's early in the year. I do think Notre Dame makes the playoff this year. They've got Riley Leonard at quarterback, who, of course, Coach Elko is very familiar with his strengths and weaknesses, having been his quarterback the last 2 years. They're solid on the defense across the board, and Freeman knows defense. They've got my number 6 set of defensive backs, number 11 defensive line. They're solid on special teams. I rate them number 16 there. They had in a Mitch Jeter at kicker from South Carolina. I really like that addition. And then offensively, strong in all 4 units. So this is a very talented Notre Dame team, one that I do think makes the playoff. But the only game I don't have them favored in this year, and they play the number 57 schedule, is the opening game in College Station.
Let's talk about another team A&M plays early on that it's easy to discount Florida because of their schedule. But when A&M plays them in week 3, it could be a very worrisome game. How do you see Florida, at least from a talent perspective?
Florida's going to surprise some folks this year. And going over the team with Coach Napier, and he's very confident in them. Says, they do have the toughest schedule in the country, but he feels at the end of the season, you're going to look at it and say, oh, okay, that wasn't as tough. And this game's in the Swamp. Florida's a tough team in the Swamp. Remember last year they beat Tennessee, number 11 in the country, in the Swamp, and had a lot of good games. The Florida State game, they took the Gators to the wire, or the Seminoles to the wire. They've got Graham Mertz at quarterback, and they add in DJ Lagway behind them. Lagway's a physically gifted quarterback that's a true freshman, gives him a different advantage at the quarterback spot. Montrell Johnson at running back is there, and the defense is going to be much improved over last year. So that's a dangerous game for Texas A&M.
Carlita, tell the people.
Like, comment, subscribe, share.
Did you have a little Latin accent on the like?
Did I have what?
You had a little Spanish accent there.
Callie, why do you move to the left whenever you're on air? I set the camera and then you just
shift,
continue to creep off the side of the camera.
I move my chair.
So it's like half of you is on air.
Sorry, Nick. I'll fix that.
If anybody's still watching, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.